Hi, this is the technical overview of the Matic Mike NFT game and its accompanying ERC20 token HGH. Let's get into this. So the Matic Mike NFT was released about a week ago. It is a 100% on-chain project. The metadata and graphics are all generated on-chain, and I'll get into how that's done. And it was released on Polygon with an Ethereum bridge. So we are already fully minted. It minted out in like 12 hours. It was a free mint, and we airdropped about $1,000 worth of Matic to our whitelisters. That was just due to a lot of them not being familiar with the Polygon network and knowing how to bridge funds over to the Polygon network. So that's just something I wanted to do to make sure we had a successful release. I'm going to be showing a lot of the staging environment since we are fully minted, so I want to show the minting process. First off, the collection's on OpenSea, and it has an Ethereum bridge, but I've only sent a couple over there just to test it and to make sure everything was working fine. And let's just get in quickly to the minting process. So minting the Matic Mike NFT, let me go to the proper site. You can mint with, it was a free mint, and then there was the ability to mint with HGH that you earned by staking the Matic Mike NFT into our contract. And it was at the rate of 1 per mic over the course of 24 hours. I'm just going to mint one so you can see the process. I have a bunch minted here. So here's our new minted Matic Mike. We did mint out very quickly because I had put in these burn rerolls, which allowed you to, if you didn't like what you got, reroll the NFT completely. But before we get into that, I just want to go over some of the code on how it actually mints. So the way we did this is we mapped out pixel by pixel each individual pixel on the SVG with its own class. And this is a function that I actually picked up on another project, Anonymize. That was something that was really cool that I thought they did, and I integrated it. The only difference is we have a lot more pixels on our project, so we had to load full SVG strings for the body. And let me just go in here. And how it kind of works, and I'll show you actually quickly, is when you mint, it randomizes this DNA code. That's what I call it. And each one of these numbers represents a trait. So you'll see here, we didn't use the Chainlink random numbers for this, but we do use it for another part of the project, the token injection, which I'll get into after this. You go through each individual trait and you just assign it a random number based out of this number here. And we had a trait array with different rarities, and it assigns the trait based on that. So that's how that works. And you can see each trait has its own value. So then the burn rerolls kind of works the same. It sends the old one to a dead address, and we'll assign you a new one. So let's just see what we get here. So here's a new one, and you can see the traits are totally different, and increase the number by 1 here. And the old one is now in a dead address. So after that, the numbers started increasing quite a bit very quickly. So the HGH mint, we had a few of them, but it was mainly just burn rerolls after our first, once I opened that up after our first 2,500. The next part of the initial release was the ERC20 to ERC721 token injection. And that actually and I don't have the DNA code on the staging environment. I guess I pushed that live to production. But that actually has the ability to, and it's only a 5% chance, to take any one of these random numbers and increase the rarity of it. And the rarity is, the rarest is 0 all the way up through however many traits there are. So we'll just show quickly how that works. There's a good chance it doesn't actually pan out, but this does use Chainlink VRF. We should get a pop-up down here. So now in 10 seconds it'll refresh and we'll see. The cost for actually injecting and potentially upgrading, which doesn't look like it upgraded anything, is a global price that increases every time anything is upgraded. So right now on my staging environment it's 4, but on the live environment it's 31. And we'll periodically reset this just to get the community involved and pretty pumped up, I guess. And every trait, I guess, I didn't get into this, every trait does have its own power level associated with it as well. And this is going to be talked about more in our PvP section. But the power level gives you a slightly higher chance to win a player versus player battle. And it will eventually, once we integrate the player versus environment aspect of the game, have a big, I guess, an advantage there as well. So in that injection process we just showed you, we do utilize Chainlink VRF in the randomness here. We burn off the HGH price, and then we send in in our randomness request, we go through and select a random trait to try and upgrade. If that upgrade chance ends up being within this 95 to 10,000 range, I think I have that set to 9,500. And then that will actually upgrade the trait if it doesn't exist. We make sure that it doesn't exist. If it does, we'll try and go to you'll actually get a better upgrade. Most of the time I don't think it will exist because there's so many different combinations possible. So now let's just quickly get into the staking aspect, which is how we earn HGH. Okay, so the staking mechanism of the game is the gym that we send Matic Mike to. So over the course of 24 hours, he can earn 1 HGH per 24 hours, and you can only have a maximum of 10 per wallet staked in the gym at once. And we also have the ability for our expansion projects to add those to the contract as well, and they will be set at different emissions rates. So I guess for the boss contract, we may have something like a 0.25 over 24-hour emission rate. So let's just send one to the gym here. Gotta switch the network. So now we have this guy in the gym earning his HGH, and you can also view traits here. So now let's move on to, I guess, the PvP. So that was basically the overview of how we minted and the whole minting process, and it was pretty fun. There was people stayed up literally all night and over the 12-hour period, and were burn re-rolling, and our Discord was kind of popping off, so that was fun. So yeah, let's go to the PvP dance-off part, and this is, I'm just going to do this on the staging environment so you can see. We launched this yesterday. I think today's the 6th. We launched this on actually the 4th. And I think we have about 30 dances already done. They're not all filled, but the way this dance-off contract works, and it's all on-chain as well, this project has 0 API. It's all on-chain. So the way the dance-off contract works is we have a 50-man rolling queue. This can be adjusted in the future. and every time you actually enter a Mike into the contest, it generates him a random Chainlink VRF number. If that 50 queue doesn't fill up in 30 minutes, I have a minimum threshold set for how many people are in there, as well as that 30-minute time period, and this is also adjustable, and it'll update this bar here to go down to whatever it is, and the next person that queues will trigger it. So I think I have that set for this demo maybe at 10, and on the main page we had it set at 25, but during the slow hours I decided to put it down to 15, just so we can get more queues going. So the way this works is, here's my wallet. I mean, this is my staging wallet, so it has a million mics in here, but most people only have at most 10. So these guys can be in the gym. They don't have to be in your wallet, because essentially when you stake a mic, you're sending it to the ERC20 contract. So let's just select one here, and we'll enter him. And now here's the just another little aspect to the game is there's a juice up, which you can select up to 5 HGH to add, and that's burned off in the contract, where the rest of it is sent to the contract. It costs 1 to enter, and the pot is 70% to first, 20% to second, and 10% to third. So this juice up, you can select up to 5, and you get a random 1 to 10 power level per however many you send. So I'm just going to send 5 in this. And then once this transaction is approved, it'll have a pop-up down here, and we'll be able to go into the dance and watch it. And this is a little bit of a bug I have to fix here. This is because the 30-minute time period has passed, so it's just however many plus 1, but that'll end up resetting down to 0. So I'm gonna pull this in a new window, and you can see all the guys that are queued up here. And then we'll probably see this go soon. I have this refresh every 30 seconds or so. So here we go. And this is just our initial launch. I plan to actually make this more interactive, but I just threw in a bunch of animations in JavaScript and CSS to give our users some stuff to look at. And now all the losers are just fading out that didn't get in the top 3. Obviously this number is already pre-generated once we have determined it in the contract. And the power level basically is what the Chainlink random number for each person divides by. So it essentially gives you a little bit of a higher chance based on if you have higher power level. And that's where the juice ups come into play as well. So we see this guy got first, this guy got second, this guy got third. And then we have this results page here that will give you some of their stats. I actually have the stats because Chainlink essentially has to have enough gas to trigger that dance off. I didn't have the Chainlink run the analytics. The first person in queue actually runs the analytics, so that will update the stats here. So you can see this guy has entered 4 dance royales, and he placed first once and second once, so that's pretty impressive. This one is entered 2. We just won that one, so he's got a 50% rate there. And this guy's entered 2, and he won 3rd place there. And you can also see they have an individual stat page, which tells you the total purse they've ever won. And you can watch replays of all their dances. So we can just quickly just go in here, and you can see this was the second dance ever. and that's what he was in here. So that is a quick overview of the PvP. I think, yeah, so I'm not sure, did I already go over this? If I didn't, like I said, the juiced up section of this is the extra juice that you actually add to your Matic Mike NFT when entering him in the competition, and that power up is just generated from that, and it makes it so it's a minimum of however much you actually juiced up, and then it just goes through and does its role and saves it in a struct here, and then that begin dance trigger after it hits the 50 or whatever the threshold is at the time, it'll run it through this, and then later on I have the analytics that the first person that enters fills out, and you'll see all this in the Git repo for this. I'm gonna actually add the website on there too, as well as the Discord bot, which I'll just go over quickly here. So there's some more features I'm going to add in before the actual end date of the submissions here, but I want to just get this video out of the way so I can actually start the submission. So I also, in this, I've been basically coding like 100 hours a week on this, and there's a lot of different functionality in here, but we have a few. I use Discord.js for this to query all the smart contracts. We have some things. This is going off the live NFT. So I have this supply command, which gives you the 2,637 total that survived the burn rerolls. You can see the amount staking here is 2202 out of that 2637. Two of them cross that Ethereum bridge, like I said, and then here's the HGH that's been earned. It has no cap. It does have a end date, but that's adjustable. I don't think I'm ever going to really end it. I kind of this project just belongs to the community, and I just want to see what the community can do with it as well. And then you see how many wallets are actually staking. This updates, I think I have it update like every 8 hours, just because I didn't want it to completely use all my Infura calls, because it does actually take, I think, like 10,000 calls to go through everything. And that's a bit of an oversight. I probably should have put that analytics in, but I didn't do that. So we do have the power level ability to check power level, so let's just do 1088 here, and you see this has a power level of 457. What else do I have here? Let's take a look at him too. 1088. So this pulls his different traits, and we can also go to the OpenSea link here, so you can see this is what he looks like. And then we have, I think that's, oh, the peak command. So let me just grab my address here. So the peak command will grab all your Matic Mike's all your Matic Mikes both in and out of the gym and return them here. So because, like I said before, when you stake your mic, it goes into the ERC20 contract. So that's basically it for the Discord bot. I am going to integrate a leaderboard in here so we can pull the leaders of the PvP Battle Royales and kind of create more in-game competition and just have more of a active Discord just based off of that. some of the other things we have planned out are, I do want to add a extra contract here that essentially gives you the ability to name your wallet onto our website, which is maticmike.club. That will allow you to basically name your wallet, name your club, and assign it a token URI. So if I wanted to name mine Matic Mike Saloon, I could do that with its own token URI. And we're also capturing the analytics in that contract of the wallet address. So let's say you were to maybe sell one on OpenSea or any other aftermarket, it'll still have those analytics that you won this many on your address. And that's to kind of do more of a competitive feature in the PvP. The other thing I actually want to do is do 1v1 battles. I didn't think I would have time to get it done in here. And I also want to release our PvE contract prior to that. So that's why I haven't integrated that yet. It was a lot because with this much utility, it requires being on Polygon because of how much it would cost in transaction fees in the current state of Ethereum, as well as we don't want to limit our users to only be very familiar with interacting with the contract directly. We wanted to create an interface that allowed for that, and because Polygon NFTs are not as mainstream as Ethereum NFTs, we're not going to have that level of technical knowledge here. So that's why I created such a interactive interface here for this project. It was a lot of work, and I'm the only developer and I guess artist. But for our PvP contract or PvE contract coming up, I do have my friend working on the actual like graphics, and then I'm gonna plot them out on the SVG once that's done. And there's a lot of plans for that. We do have that intermediate data contract. I don't know if I went over that here. I think that's here. So like I was saying in that DNA code earlier, this is how it plots it out here. But what I want to go over is like how we actually built this intermediate data contract to expand in the future. I have the ability to add in this and set this extra address here. So originally for the PvE contract, we're going to set this address to directly to that contract, and that's going to pull any loot from the Genesis Matic Mike NFT that he earns through that contract. I don't want to get too much into it because I'm still coming up with the idea on how this is all going to work, but I do have that functionality in there, and it's going to actually just plot straight up the SVG string in one loop so it doesn't run out of gas here. And that's going to add graphics directly onto the mic, as well as metadata. There's another function in here, and power level. And then when we expand further, so let's say we add another boss contract or just something else into this project in the future, we can change this address to chain to another intermediate contract that chains to both of those contracts, and just keep doing that. So we'll just be able to keep expanding and pulling more data into that original NFT. And yeah, so that's kind of how we're going to do that. So that's kind of the technical overview of the project. Again, my name is Josh. I'm in the Discord as Mike Dev. So you can send me a message, email us. I'm going to have the OpenSea and website and GitHub links all in this video. So I hope you enjoyed it. I hope I didn't bore you to death. And I hope I see you in our Discord. Thanks.